Okay, what's your name and what did you think of the event?
My name is Stan Thomas, and I think that the event, Amy Goodman speaking to this group, is just an outstanding opportunity for a different perspective on how life is in America, a different perspective about democracy, tremendous insight into the problems that we're having in the United States of America, and the fact that the people are not powerless, but they must be stimulated in order to go into action to try to make this a real democracy, because our democracy is being destroyed. I was particularly impressed by just one of the many sentences she said, and it was a very short sentence. She said, "America has the greatest democracy in the world for some." And I think that's a very salient point, that a very few people are benefiting from this so-called democracy in the United States of America. It's good for some, but there are millions who are suffering because of the exploitation of the population in the United States by the elite few. And there have been a number of things that have taken place recently in this Bush administration that further threaten and undermine the structure, the fundamental structure of a democracy and of democracy in America. One is the fact that habeas corpus has been essentially destroyed by an act signed by Bush just a few days ago. And most people are not aware of that he can take any American citizen and label them as an enemy combatant, or they've done something that is negative towards, as far as democracy is concerned, a threat to democracy, place them in under arrest without charges, and they have no alternative. There's no writ of habeas corpus anymore. The American dream that democracy in America is an illusion for most people. And Thich Nhat Hanh, who is a Vietnamese expatriate, and a poet, philosopher, and what have you, he once said that the bridge of illusion must be brought down before a bridge of reality can be built, so people can pass from illusion to reality. The illusion is that we have a great democracy for many. The reality is that we have a democracy, a great democracy for few. I learned a lot. You know, one thing occurred to me while I was in the military. Many things did. But I was flying electronic reconnaissance missions in Vietnam. We were flying. You know what my mission was then, electronic reconnaissance. And I recall coming home, and President Nixon went on TV on May 1st, 1970, same day where 4 people were killed at Kent University when they were protesting. But he mentioned that we were now going to go into Cambodia in order to interdict the Ho Chi Minh Trail, the supplies coming from North Vietnam to South Vietnam. At that time, I said, my gosh, I'd flown 45 missions over Cambodia. I'd seen villages go up in flames, that we'd been in Cambodia, but the people in the United States did not know that. And I said, this is another lie that we've been subjected to. Now, I don't even want to talk about lies from our government. I really don't.
But the thousands who have been held, we don't know the charges against them, we don't know their names. They don't know the evidence against them. Many have been deported. Illegal detentions, torture, kidnapping. You know this extraordinary term, extraordinary rendition? We have focused a lot on this. And actually, in Static, our first chapter is Outlaw Nation. And we begin with the story of Maher Arrar. Now, in this country, 99% of the people wouldn't know who he is. In Canada, he's a household name. He was Canadian Time Magazine's Newsmaker of the Year. Canadian citizen in 2002 is going through Kennedy Airport, coming back from family vacation. U.S. authorities pick him up, put him in jail for 2 weeks, and then send him off, not back to Canada, where he lived with his family, but to Syria. Yes, he was born there. He left there, fled when he was 17 with his family, didn't serve in the army. Said, if you send me there, I will surely be tortured. The U.S. authorities put him on a Gulfstream jet, a torture flight, He was sent there, he cried all the way over, and sure enough, he was put in a grave-like cell. He was interrogated, he was tortured, he was brutalized, and as inexplicably as he was taken, he was released 10 months and 10 days later and sent back to Canada. No charges against him, but sent back a broken man. Extraordinary rendition is White House for kidnapping, or disappearing people, as we know from Latin America in the 1980s. I don't think this represents the best of America. I was invited on MSNBC, and the host said to me, "Don't you think in these dangerous times we have to engage in racial profiling?" And I said, actually, no. I think it is counterproductive. I think it endangers us. Because if we engage in racial profiling, we will miss the next Timothy McVeigh. I mean, think about it. 10 years ago, he's arrested for blowing up the Oklahoma City building. And we know that he worked with others. Did anyone in this country suggest that we should then round up all blonde-haired, blue-eyed white Christian men? Of course not.